Hey, Syndicate members, Akil here with some possible trades I want to look at. As always, Monday is my off day, so I'm always pretty excited to get to looking at the charts on Tuesday because I stopped trading about midday Friday and don't really pay attention to it on the open on Sunday. Then Monday, I sounds weird, but I try to stay away from the charts as much as possible. I'm a big believer in giving yourself some off days, giving yourself to refresh your mind. So Tuesday is always pretty fun to come in and see what the market has done. And looking on euro dollar, we talked about this last week in the syndicate videos, but we talked about an aggressive C for our potential Gartley pattern that's forming. You see we're moving right up into that. However, here's something very interesting. If we go down to the 4-hour chart, and I'll start with our bigger Gartley. We're looking at our X to A coming up to our A to B. We had our B to C come down here, and we're looking for a CD completion somewhere up in this area. I'm not going to draw it out exactly, but you guys know what Gartleys are, so you know how to. Well, I suppose I should. We do have different levels of traders in here. So if our X to A coming to our 618, we have our A to B. With our C retracement coming to our 786, we actually double bottomed here at the aggressive C. You saw we never broke X-lay, so still a valid Gartley. No one should have been stopped out on this aggressive C trade. And we'd be looking for a Gartley pattern completion. Depending on your rules, anywhere between our 786 and our 127. I believe our 127 should line up right above an 886 as well. Yeah, so right above. So anywhere in this area is where you're looking for your Gartley pattern completion. Now, as you've probably seen already, if we look a bit lower, we also have a smaller Gartley setup as well. If we take our X to A here, you'll see we came right into a 618 again. If we go up here, yep, oh, looks like we just missed it. I'm actually first time really looking at this chart. It got to my eyes and I decided to record right away. But we just missed it. So in this case, it wouldn't be a valid Gartley pattern for myself. I need to hit the 618 exactly. Again, I know a lot of traders out there that, if it works in a range or comes a certain percentage to that mark, then it still counts. And for you, we came right around this mark, so I can still see this counting as a valid Gartley. Now, here's the original point that I wanted to make. We have our bigger Gartley with our aggressive C trade. Then we have our smaller Gartley forming. Let me just make this a different color to make it a little easier to see. Go gold. Smaller Gartley forming. That's going to complete before our bigger one. So the question that you're probably asking yourself is, hey, what do I do? If I'm already in the aggressive C, do I hold out my aggressive C? We talked about first targets being on a retest of our B leg. Do I wait for that and still wait for the bigger Gartley to form for a stop and reverse? Do I scratch the idea of the aggressive C and I take the smaller Gartley? If this is a Gartley that counts for you? And that could be a really tough decision. Fortunately for me, again, we did not come down to hit 618, so this no longer counts as a Gartley for me. So I'm still in my aggressive C for target 1 and then target 2 around this 886 area. But here's my advice if you are looking at this second pattern as a Gartley. What I would do is, there's a few choices you can do. You can either obviously just stop and reverse, take everything out at this first target. You can say, hey, I'm in the aggressive C first, I'm just going to hold that off. I would take half position off. I would take half position off at this Gartley pattern right here. I would do that. I would take half or a full position off of this Gartley. I wouldn't wait until the full thing reaches up here because, again, these Gartley patterns are pretty powerful if this is one that counts for you. So I would at least take half position off at the smaller Gartley completion, and then maybe hold half to see if it busts out, or keep half and you're only in a half position trade, which isn't a bad thing. You'll just have to shoot for one target. Or I just stop and reverse and take the full position out of my aggressive C trade and say, hey, we have a Gartley pattern forming here. My rules say I take Gartley patterns, so I'm going to take the full position here. If we go up and I get busted out, I'm just going to enter again at the bigger Gartley. So again, the choices really depend on what your trading plan says, but those are a few ideas on, at least my opinion on the matter. Either take half position off right here and hold, or take a full position off and reverse this as a Gartley. Let's look at Euro Yen. I believe we have a Gartley pattern set up on here as well. Gartley or a butterfly, again, depending on how close you need these you need price action to come to your Fibonacci retracements. Again, I need it to hit exactly. So until we hit this 786, I'm still thinking Gartley pattern, which gives me X to A to B. We have our B to C and an aggressive C as well, with our BC completion, or our CD completion, my fault, coming up at 103.30. So that's going to be a little bit above this 786. If I draw my Fibonacci extension in, swing low to swing high, you'll see my 127 is going to be up here. And I'll bring in my minor fib point, my 886, which is going to be right up here. So again, we have a zone, and everyone trades Gartleys a little differently. We have a zone between our 786, our 127, with our 886 in the middle. How do I decide where to enter on this? Let me just, here we go. Well, I look for the point with the most confluence, and in this case, you'll see we have, bang, our ABCD completion lines up right with our 886. Therefore, I'm looking for this 886 as my entry around 103.34. Probably front run that on a 4-minute chart, so I'll probably front run that for by about 5 pips. Not probably, I will. So looking at 103.29 for entries. Lastly, I think we have one on $CAD. Again, I didn't really take the time to go through my charts this morning. I saw that thing setting up on Euro-Dollar and say, hey, let me get a video out before it completes, because I know there's a few people out there asking, what do I do if a smaller one instead of a bigger one? But $CAD, you see same thing. Fibonacci's already on here. X to A to B, coming into our 618. We're looking for a 618 retracement on our second leg, or our third leg. So our C leg comes right back down in to the 618, as you can see. Now looking for an ABCD completion, first of all. Boom. That's going to complete at 98.62, a little bit above our 786. Just like before, if I bring my 886 in. And again, with these patterns, I'm not stuck into, I have to take every Gartley at a 786. I'm looking for the area with the most confluence. Whether it be Fibonacci confluence, ABCD and structure, ABCD and Fibonacci, it doesn't matter. Whichever point has the best. So let's take a Fibonacci extension again, swing low to swing high, back down from our A to our B. I'm going to see that the 127 lines up right with our ABCD. Let's do one more thing and take a Fibonacci inversion from our C leg back to our B leg and see what we get here. We're going to get a 144 probably with that 886. Yep. So again, you have a good zone right here. You have the 886 at 98.66. You have your ABCD completion at 98.62. With your 127, your 1414. So a nice little zone on where you can think to enter. And then same thing with this chart. If we go down to a 60-minute chart on $CAD, again, choppy, but you can see similar to what we had with Euro-Dollar, it looks like, where we may have the smaller pattern completion, yeah. Looking at X to A to B, B to C, and copy this. Yep, we just had a smaller pattern completion. Actually, just looks like it already rolled over. Get over here. Smaller pattern completion inside our bigger pattern. And again, this one looks like it already rolled over and 127. Yeah, this is still an area if you want to short Canada right now, you can. Looks to me that we already came up to this zone right here, hit it, reversed a little bit. Yeah, you can see we came here, Basically came down to the 382, missed by 1 pip, even handle number as well, and then bounced up. So I'd be no longer looking at this as a pattern. You know, in my analysis, I would say, hey, the market got up here in our Gartley zone. You see 127, 786, came down to 382 and structure to retest, and now it's moving up. So I'm not thinking to myself, ooh, we can still get in this because it's still in the zone. In my eyes, the move happened. Wait for the bigger one. All right, so video's running a little long, about 10 minutes. Hope you guys enjoyed that, though. Again, I've been getting a lot of questions lately about what happens when patterns form inside other patterns. Do I wait? Do I hold it? Do I take everything out? Do I just get flat the market? So hopefully this answers some of those questions. But also saying this, if you're ever confused in the market, if you're ever in a trade, and you see another current trade setting up, the best two rules, I gave you a lot of options, but the best two rules I would say to do is just stick to your original trade. Say, hey, whatever trade I'm in first, I'm in that trade, and I'm going to stay in it until it either wins or loses. Or B, just get flat everything. If you're ever confused in anything in the market, just get flat. If you're unsure why you entered a trade, maybe you forgot, you can't find a valid reason, just get flat. You know, that's the easiest thing to do in order to protect yourself. All right, traders. See you later in the week. Take care.